Well, here it is, people, the Mighty 79 Mark II. I'm absolutely stoked with how well everything's come together on this vehicle to transform a farm truck into this awesome machine. Right from the start, I told everyone that they need to look outside the square and see what they can achieve with their four-wheel drive build. But I have to admit, the more I actually looked at what we were going to add to this vehicle, the more I realised how many amazing products there are in the Australian market for the four-wheel drive scene. These all come from some incredibly talented designers, and along the way I got to meet some of these designers, and it was great to see their passion and dedication to creating these fantastic products for the Australian market. So today we're going to run through everything we have on this vehicle, inside and out. One of my favourite accessories on this vehicle has to be the Summit Mark II bar. I just absolutely love the design of it. This has transformed a farm truck to something that's a whole lot more modern. One of the huge challenges the design teams have been faced, this vehicle now has such a tall grille and a tall stance, but it's also quite a wide vehicle as well. The design team has added this little kick which reduces the look of such a wide bar. One of the most significant changes to the Summit Mark II bar would be the DRLs and fogs, which introduces a more modern look and also complements the DRLs on the vehicle. Now, every good bull bar needs a great set of driving lights, and ARB's Intensity IQs are exactly that. This is the flagship and a much more modern look for this new styling. IQ lights are fully adjustable through your smartphone or via links to create your own presets, which are then easily accessed on a push pad on your dashboard. The winch we're using this time around is a new Covert 12,000 pound winch. It features synthetic rope and wireless control, and you might think with this vehicle I'm not going to need this thing, but I guarantee you I'll need it more than you think. Under the bull bar are these brand new forged recovery points. For years the 79 series has only had one recovery point. ARB has introduced the twin recovery point. They're both drop forged and incredibly strong. For a little bit of added protection for both the radiator and the steering componentry, Marx four-wheel drive have created this bash plate, which is incredibly strong. Now, on top of the Summit Mark II, we have two aerials. So this time around we've gone for two UHF systems. The concept behind this is that one of the systems will monitor the local traffic, say in a state forestry, where we can communicate with the trucking, but the other channel will be for our convoy and crew. This keeps us in good communication with the crew, but keeps unnecessary conversation off their work channel. When we get into some of the tighter tracks, ARB's side rails will make the world of difference to protect the side of the vehicle. To keeping with the theme of Merlot and Black, I sent the side steps down to Danny and the team at DC 4x4, and I reckon it creates an awesome look, this Raptor coating. We've gone away from the original farm truck mirrors and we've added these beautiful MSA 4x4 power folds. Now, they don't just look good, but they work amazing. They're fully electronic, you can control them from the inside of the cab, but these ones from inside the cabin, you can also fold them in. So if you're in a tight track with lots of trees, just tuck your mirrors in and then pull them back out again while you're driving. These mirrors are also manually extendable for towing. Keeping with the Merlot and Black theme, PVS has created this new indicator light, which takes away the amber old school plastic and replaces it with an ADR approved lens, which is either clear or smoked. Also blacked out are the door handles and locks, and you might have noticed the chrome strip here. This will definitely be blacked out in the future. Crossing over to the driver's side of the vehicle, I know you've already noticed it, but this is Safari's brand new RMAX Snorkel. This is the first one created for the 79 series, and I'm extremely excited to have it on this vehicle. It features the new ram head, and it's just another item that brings this vehicle into a more modern look. I'm sure you've also noticed the lights on the roof. These are the new Nacho Quattros. We've gone for spots on the roof for a huge amount of output. For my daily running, I'll be running black covers on these, but when I'm out on a station property, I'll be lighting up the paddocks, that's for sure. These Nacho lights are all securely mounted on the front of this Bas Rack. Now, Bas Rack, if you're not familiar with it, is an amazing product where all the wiring can be fed through the channels Bas Rack features this dovetail mounting system with plenty of accessories, so you can pretty much mount anything you like with it. But the great news for the 79 series owner is that they now have this blade system with 3 mounting points straight over the A pillar, B pillar and C pillar. My thoughts are that this creates a much more modern look. Depending on the shoot, we'll be running our swags on the top of this, or maybe a couple of boxes to carry a little bit of extra lightweight gear. Now that's it for the top of the cab. Let me show you what's going on underneath. If you've been following the series, you would have seen the fact that we picked the car up from Toyota and took it down the road and cut the car in half. I must admit, it was pretty daunting cutting a perfectly good car in half, but the difference this will make in balancing the weights out on a 79 series is huge. The whole concept of stretching the vehicle is moving this rear tyre more in the centre of the load. So this balances out the weight distribution of the vehicle. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing the difference this makes for a 79 series dual cab. Now, if you've been following the previous builds that we've been involved in, the Mighty 79 and the Sandy 60, you would have noticed that we're running Vapors yet again. Now, I reckon the ROH Vapors are a beautiful design and they simply complement the lines of these vehicles. On top of that, they've got a higher load rating of 1500 kilos, so they really suit the heavier trucks. Now for traction, we've gone for the BFG KM3s. These are 35-inch tyres and they're absolutely superb. I have never had a puncher and they perform extremely well. Now we've been running these on the Mighty 79, which has done over 300,000 Ks. The Sandy 60, that's performed extremely well on that as well. And we've even got them on my wife's Jimny. They're a superb tyre and I've never had a puncher off-road. They perform extremely well when you adjust your tyre pressures, providing great traction in all terrains. Now for suspension, I've gone for BP51s again. I just think they're the world's best shock and they provide me the capability of adjusting the ride to suit any environment. The big change we've made this time around is we're running parabolics. Now I've been testing them in the Mighty 79 and I think they're superb. The comfort and the ride is better, I think, than coils. Now these are a 1000 kilo rating and they're matched up with the ARB airbags. And most time you're running, I think I'll be running about 5 PSI, maybe 8 PSI. And now for one of the most talked about items on this vehicle, portal axles. Seems like everyone loves them. Well, I certainly do. They completely transform a 79 series, making it so much more capable than a standard one. They provide you a wider track, front and rear, matching of course. They give you better brakes, they give you reduction gears to run 35-inch tyres legally on Australian roads. They provide you a handbrake on the rear of the transfer case, or if you would prefer, you could have the option of an electric handbrake. I've gone for the one on the back of the transfer case, which basically in four-wheel drive locks all four wheels. Now Marx 4-wheel drive have brought a complete new kit to the market. This is an evolution of their previous design and it's a whole lot better. It's better in many ways. So bigger brake rotors, bigger axles, stronger axles, bigger reservoirs, alloy housings which hold a litre of oil now, over 400 mil. But another key feature of this new design is the complete change for the bearing design. So they've gone away from Toyota's standard bearing set, which needs servicing every 20,000 kilometres, which is quite an expensive exercise. And now they're running these massive bearings which provide extended service periods. But probably the biggest piece of news for anyone that's considering portals, this is an absolute game changer. CTI, so central tyre inflation. Whilst you're in the cabin of your vehicle, you can punch in the tyre pressure, lower your tyre pressures down to something that maybe it suits sand, and at the other end, pump them up to road pressures and you're on your way. Now this isn't on this vehicle at the moment, but Marx 4-wheel drive is going through all the process of doing all the testing on theirs, and in the next couple of months, I'll surely be running it. Now while we're down here, you might have noticed these shiny things here. These are JMax radius arms, and these are suited to a 2-inch lift. The concept behind this is that we're now taking them back to the original geometry so that the tyres are turning correctly. And what this does for you, it's effortless driving down the road. So if you get into a rough patch, you can literally steer with one hand, no problems at all. No more hanging onto the steering wheel and fighting it. It's really smooth. Now what's driving all this? Well, we've made a few changes. You might have noticed this is a V8, but it's quite different. It used to have an intercooler on the top, which creates a bit of a problem for heat soak. So now we've got the PDI intercooler on the front. There's a lot of pipe work to help make all that efficient, but effectively we're getting nice, cool, clean air through the front of the engine bay Now what's this going to do for performance? This intercooler is now providing cooler air to burn with the fuel, and it's going to make everything more efficient. Now the engine modifications were installed by the team at TuneWorks up in Raymond Terrace. They did an excellent job in less than a week. They transformed the engine bay, but there's a whole lot more that you can't see. So the clutch has been upgraded to a 1600 Newton metre from NPC, which will perform extremely well, especially in soft sand. But Jake from TuneWorks also enlisted the help from Minifab just down the road, who assisted in creating an exhaust which is effectively not available on the marketplace. It's a twin 4-inch DPF back, and they did an amazing job getting it through between the airbags and the shocks all the way to the back. Now what this will do for me is, with the DPF running in this vehicle, we get temperatures in excess of 700 degrees at times. I believe this helps dissipate the heat and gets it out the back, away from the water tanks and all the accessories. Now Graham from G Turbo came across to assist Jake with the tune, and it was amazing seeing their teamwork involved in transforming this vehicle to get such great numbers. Now we weren't chasing the maximum number, we were chasing something that's going to be efficient, but it certainly came in better than I thought it would. We've got 220 kilowatts and 900 Newton meters at the wheels with 35-inch tyres. I'm pretty impressed with that. Now one of the key features here is this aluminium anodised airbox. It looks amazing, but it will definitely keep dust and water out to ensure that the engine is looked after into the future. So the next stage is the power pipe. Now this provides maximum airflow through to the turbo. The turbo here is a G333 from G Turbo, and it's specifically designed to suit a DPF system to provide maximum output without damaging the DPF, which is extremely important to me. Now this is all included in a Warrior package by G Turbo, and it also includes bigger injectors. And to assist stopping this vehicle, we have added the Marx 4-wheel drive hydraulic brake booster, which makes a huge difference. Now while we're in the engine bay, we've had these struts added by PBS, and that will ensure that it's easy to get this bonnet up. Now on the other side of the engine bay is an Invictor lithium battery setup, and I've never tried one of these before, but this one has been specifically designed for the higher temperatures of engine bays. It's about a third of the weight of a lead acid battery, and it provides higher cranking amps. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this performs. Now I haven't done many Ks in this yet, but I can guarantee you the amount of torque in this is absolutely insane, and that's what I'm looking for. Not the revs or anything like that, just looking for really nice, clean power where it just drives beautifully, and it does. Now let's turn this car around and have a look at the twin 4 system. Now how good does this look? The way that these guys have lined up the exhaust with the Marx 4-wheel drive high clearance rear bar, I reckon is sensational. Something I would always run on any diesel vehicle would be an ARB Frontier tank. This one's 180 litres and it provides me far greater range. If you haven't seen the video before, we actually ran one of these over with an actual tank. We annihilated this tank and it sat there and expanded back to its original shape. I couldn't believe it. These things are really tough. One of my other favourite elements on this vehicle is definitely the Trigo Canopy. This is a complete evolution from its previous design, but Murray has kept a lot of the styling that has made the Trigo Canopy so unique. This particular canopy, for an extended chassis 79 series, this is an 1800 long box with this extra step to hold the wheel carrier. This is only 10 centimetres longer than the previous service body. What this does is it balances out the weight distribution, keeping the rear tyre weight forward of the vehicle. Some of the lines on the rear of the service body look amazing, but what he's done also is he's added this Trundle Drawer, which is completely sealed to prevent water or dust ingress. Now they've also set up a complete different design so that you can change the configuration on the rear without any troubles. So this particular case, we've got a spare wheel carrier and a ladder. You could put something like a jerry can or twin tyres if you want. For us, I'm pretty keen on the ladder. Pretty good system. We also have a couple of Nacho floodlights on the rear that will help us with reversing, and a reverse camera up top, as well as a reverse camera down the bottom. On top of the roof, we have a nice wide walk platform that allows us access to the base rack up front. It also provides us a nice safe platform to shoot higher elevated shots. At the back here, we've got Starlink, and forward of that, we've got a 200 watt red arc solar panel. On the driver's side, we've got a 2.5 metre black aluminium awning from ARB. And on the passenger side, we've got the 270-degree freestanding awning from Bas. We've been running one of these awnings on the Mighty79, and it allows us to cater for the crew and get people out of the sun quite quickly. Now let's have a look at the fit out inside the canopy. Check this out, people. It's a very similar setup to the previous one, I've got to admit, but it's so much better. Without a doubt, the most obvious thing in the back of this vehicle is the Lithium Mini. It's beautiful red colour, and thanks Gab, she gave this to me as a gift just recently. So excited to use it. That's powered up by this Red Arc system. Murray from Trickpoint has created this power board designed to house all the different components from Red Arc. There's a 3000 watt inverter, there's a 100 amp alpha charger, there's 3 alpha 150 batteries underneath. There's a couple of rogues that allow the distribution of power to all the different points. We've got Red Arc Red Vision on both sides of the canopy, so it doesn't matter where you are, you can control all the aspects of what's happening in here. This provides us high power of 240 volts. It also provides us USB-A and USB-C outlets, as well as a SIG socket. This is all mounted on a timber base. You might remember the Mighty79 with the timber under the coffee machine. We've gone a little bit further with this one. We've added a little bit of red resin, and it's kind of a celebration to my old man who taught me all about timber. Underneath all of this is a twin drawer setup, very similar to the last one. This one will provide safe storage of our drone gear, and this one provides safe storage of the Steadicam, B camera, sound gear, and it also offers charging all the time for all those components. Murray's gone to a little bit of trouble and he's added a few extra Easter eggs. There's a 40 series in a couple of locations. There's the Sandy 60 and also the Mighty79. So if you ever see us, have a look, see if you can find them. Now also always on charge are a couple of GME XRS 660 radios. These are used for our filming and photography of four-wheel drives, so we can communicate with the driver of the vehicles. This is where all the photography and filming happens, on the driver's side of the vehicle, and obviously we make a bit of coffee, but let's have a look on the other side and see what's going on over there. Now you might notice the treads are mounted on the doors of the service body. This allows real quick access for when we need them. This side is Gabis Domain. This holds everything to help her look after the crew. But before we talk about that, right up front, next to the batteries, Murray from Trickpoint has created this little nook which holds all the detailing gear for cleaning the cars in the middle of nowhere. For keeping things cold, we've gone for an ARB Classic 2 60 litre fridge. That's mounted on an MSA power slide. Now let me show you how this operates. It really doesn't get much simpler than this. This MSA drop slide gives you easy access to the fridge. Let's have a look at the pantry. This is a great little design. I'm really happy with this. We've got the same product in the Mighty79, and it's really easy for Gab to be organised in looking after the crew. In this system, everything has a place, and there's a place for everything. We've also have 240 power, a SIG socket up the back, and USB-A, USB-C power for anyone that wants to just charge their phone while they're having lunch. And of course, no setup's complete without a travel buddy, allowing us to have something nice and warm on a cold morning. At the back of the vehicle, we've got these two beautifully designed toolboxes. This side has the ARB dual compressor with an air outlet. The other side carries recovery gear and also features a second air outlet. You might have also noticed the taps on the back. Now there's two gravity-fed taps, one on each side, which come from a 70 litre tank forward of the fuel tank. We also have pressurised water, which can be fed from a lake or something like that, so we can wash a car. Let's go forward and have a look at the interior of the vehicle. Now just have a look at what the team from PVS have done to transform this vehicle from a farm truck to what could be said as being a luxury vehicle. The 79 series interior has been the same for decades. It's pretty much just grey interior everywhere. What Jamie and the team have done is convert this vehicle into a full blackout interior with Merlot stitching everywhere. They stripped the full interior, laid in the sound deadening, new roof lining, and a nice T console that houses the GME UHF radios. Down the bottom here we've got the leather console, which is exactly the same as the one I have in the 79, which I absolutely love. The dashboard has been completely stripped, laminated in leather. It's just absolutely beautiful. To complement the setup is PVS's 300 series steering wheel, which is basically, it's a 300 series blank that they've custom delivered to the market with this beautiful Italian leather. All the controls are featured on the front surface of the steering wheel. I've got one in the Mighty79, I absolutely love them. In the centre of the dashboard is the 9-inch PVS head unit, which I've got in the other vehicle. It offers wireless CarPlay, interacts extremely well with the steering wheel. You've got full control of everything on that screen. We've also added PVS's Rearview Mirror camera. So this one displays one of the cameras on the back all the time, and the head unit, when you place it in reverse, displays the other. So it gives you a really good picture of what's going on out the back. In the A-pillar, we've got the focal tweeters. Something else new from PVS are these door pods. So we've got a full leather door trim. In each of the door pods are focal speakers, so the sound system in this is just going to be insane. USB-A and USB-C charging. They have a storage space for your water bottle and plenty of map space. However, they also feature this cool little puddle light for when you open the door at night time. You might have noticed the seats. How beautiful are these? These are a Quattro seat from Japan, customised with the Mighty79 Mark II stitching. When you sit in them, they are just so comfortable, and I just can't wait to do the big Ks down the road. We've changed this interior to a 3-seat conversion, similar to the other one, to the Mighty79, and it's worked really effectively for us. In the back behind the driver's seat will be camera storage for a number of items and lenses and things like that. And it's just a real easy way for getting quick access to cameras, and it's a great way for us to be organised. These seats are heated, so when we're in the high country in the snow, it'll be pretty good to warm the back as you're driving. In this particular case, this time around, we've added links to the dashboard, which I absolutely love my links. We'll be running airbags, we'll be running pressure control, we'll be running all the IQ presets so that we can have all sorts of different lighting from the front of the vehicle. But we've also got red arc, red vision. Now, we have a Rogue in the back of this, which is powered by the 450 amps of lithium in the back. So effectively, when I'm on a station property on a photo shoot, we might want to keep the whole interior on so that we can keep our mapping going, keep charging iPads or iPhones or whatever we're running. But when we're at home or in a civilised area, every time I turn the key off, the complete interior will turn off at the same time. This is something that every four-wheel driver should have. This is a personal EPIRB. It's a real simple solution. If you do get yourself in trouble, open this up, press the button, and it alerts emergency services that you're in strife. Look it up on GME's website, and it's definitely something that you should have in your vehicle. Now, something that's really important. I'd like to introduce you properly to our mascot, Red Dog. How you going, Red Dog? Now, we've always had a mascot in our vehicles. In the Mighty79 Mark II, we've got Red Dog. Thanks for joining us on this build series of the Mighty79 Mark II. I can't wait to get this out in the field to help us capture awesome imagery for ARB, and I also can't wait to see people out on the tracks all around Australia. So if you see us, come and say good day. Cheers.